Here we go, folks. My name is Frank Corbin. Welcome to the Young and Rich podcast, Young and Rich University. We're here educating folks on the step-by-step process, how you can take your finances from zero to hero. This platform was designed to help folks who are in the top 10% or who trying to get to the top 10% and move them to the top 1%. The whole idea is about financial upliftment. And we do it in the step-by-step process by educating the community on how you too can retire young and retire rich using simple financial strategies that works. So today we have Nalish Francis from Forvan Financials. How are you doing, Nalish?
I'm good. How are you doing, Frank?
Excellent. Close to the mic. Yeah, excellent. So you have a very unique business. It's different from the traditional mortgage brokers, realtors, financial advisors.
Yep.
And so explain to us what exactly, just give us some background on you and then we can talk with the business after.
Background on me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Nalish Francis. Pretty much I own Forvan Financial Firm. I'm a mother, a wife, mother of 10 children.
Wow.
And it's fun to be here actually, because when I started Forvan Financial Firm 11 years ago is when I met you.
Absolutely.
And at that time, you were had just put your book out on credit.
That's correct.
And I remember reading your book and saying, oh, yeah, he has a lot of information. And, it's funny how I was about to start this business and then end up meeting you, and I did some of your courses and everything. But you interviewed me 12 years ago, and it's nice to be back here again 12 years later.
Welcome back.
And to really explain what Forvan Financial Firm does.
Mm-hmm.
So we are credit management. Essentially, the foundation of our company is credit management, teaching people how to manage their credit effectively. Mm-hmm. And pretty much one of the things that I was seeing initially back in the days when I used to do mortgages, I used to be a financial advisor. I had licenses in these two different areas, and I saw that there was this unique niche that wasn't being targeted, wasn't being serviced.
And was that
which
niche?
Was credit. People didn't understand credit. People didn't understand the importance of managing credit. Having to get a mortgage that is way higher in interest because you have to go with a private lender because your credit is bad, your credit is poor. And there was no conversation about credit. That's why I was excited when I read your book and I met with you.
Yeah, thank you.
We would talk about different things. But I mean, it's 12 years later and it's still the same thing. Like no word of a lie. It's like, it's just this hidden information that really shouldn't be.
So why do you think that is? Because I'm in a real estate world, and most of my clients that come to do business with me, they have good credit and they have their finances intact. Right. But you saying your experience 12 years ago, you read my book on credit. You started your company years ago as well.
Right.
And you're saying today in 2024, we still have a lack of information when it comes to credit. Why do you think that's the case?
It's not taught in school. It's not taught in college, university. And even in the banks, it's not their job to teach you how to manage credit. So unless you specifically seek that knowledge, you're just not going to know. Right. And as a business person, when you're moving up in life, you are actually going to start to manage your credit because you recognize that it's stopping you from doing certain things if you don't. Mm-hmm. Right. So definitely because you're in the real estate world, you're in real estate investing. Right. A lot of your clients and individuals that you work with will have excellent credit because they've learned that on their steps, on their way to doing what they're doing. Right.
That's correct. Yeah.
But for the average person, they don't.
So how does your organization assist in that process?
So for me, what I did, I started the Forvan Financial Show, which was specifically to educate young people. So the idea of the Forvan Financial Show was to be fun, to educate teenagers. As soon as you graduate from high school, you're going to get a credit card if you go to college. Let me tell you what to do with that credit card first before you start messing it up. Right. So I'm happy to say that I've had quite a few young people who are now adults, and they all have excellent credit because of following the steps in it. Right. I make it very plain and very simple. Credit is not something hard to understand. It's just not spoken about anywhere.
Right.
right? So I have clients who are, accountants. I have clients who are lawyers, and yeah, they went to school to do all of this, but at no point in time has anybody ever taught them about credit.
So hold on a second. You saying that you have lawyers and an accountant client that has credit issues?
They don't never was taught anything about credit. Yeah.
That
And
is-
let me clarify. Let me take this off because it's
Yeah.
kind of irritating me. Let me clarify. If you have errors on your credit report and the errors are causing you to have bad credit and you've never looked at your credit report, you're not going to know that you have bad credit,
Right.
even though in your mind's eye you've paid everything on time.
Mhm.
Right? So again, that knowledge is not there. Just because you are in, a higher class of status in your field of work doesn't necessarily mean that you have excellent credit.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's quite interesting. So explain credit counseling to me, because I think that's been some misconception with the consumer, especially people who have credit challenges, when they get approached from companies about credit counseling. Explain the process of credit counseling and whether it's good or bad for the average person.
Okay. So we are, number one, not a credit counseling company. We are credit management, which is a huge difference. Credit counseling companies and consumer proposal companies, what they do is they take a certain amount of your debt and they will compile it and lower the amount that you're going to pay off over a 5-year period of time.
Right.
So what happens with the consumer proposal or credit counseling service is that on your credit report, your trade lines, which is, let's say you had a car loan, you had 6 credit cards, and you had a line of credit that all went into this consumer proposal or credit counseling program.
Yeah.
All of this is going to be sitting on your credit report as trade lines as R7 for
Right.
the 5 years that it takes for you to clear this proposal or consumer or credit counseling program. After 3 years after that date, which is the last day you make payment to those either or, is when that information is going to drop off your credit report. So for a combined total of 8 years, you have put your credit in damage mode.
Wow.
Right? So anybody who's pulling your credit is going to be seeing this consumer proposal and seeing that you've gone through this whole situation. Whereas for us with credit management, what we're doing is when we look at all of what was seen on your credit report, what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, you know what? This particular debt that you have is over 2 years old. So once it's over 2 years old, nobody can sue you for it. There's a statute of limitation. So don't worry about this right now. What we can do is we can settle this at pennies on the dollar.
Right.
And we can have issue a letter of deletion to delete this off your credit report, right? For example, that's what we call secure. We're securing your credit. Then we're going to go in, we're going to negotiate and take off everything that doesn't need to be there, settle everything that needs to be settled. We do not make monthly payments, number one. The biggest thing, Forvan Financial Firm never does monthly payments because when you do monthly payments, you reset the last date of activity.
Wow.
And when you reset the last date of activity, it stays on your credit report for another 6 years.
So you're saying when you go in as a credit management firm, you negotiate a lump sum payment?
One-time
payment.
One-time payment. That's it.
And but you never make monthly payments?
No.
Because you're saying monthly payments continue to reset
the last date of activity.
So it tends to go, that 8 years now can become what?
Longer and longer and longer. Exactly.
This is a gem, folks.
Yeah.
Listen to this kind of information. That's quite interesting. So what are some of the common financial challenges other than credit that you see out here?
Well, for the most part, everything kind of is foundational on credit. Right. Because if you are in a situation, like, for example, even with what's happening right now because of COVID, where you as an investor, you have investment properties, let's say your tenants aren't paying the mortgage.
Right.
You're in a position now because now, the last 10 years, your mortgage shows up on your credit report. Right. So that now damages your credit. Right. Unless you are somebody who's like Frank Corbin, who doesn't have any of his investment properties on his credit report because he has a business. Right. So everything is done in the business, not in your personal credit, right? Yeah. The corporation. But majority of investors don't have that knowledge. If they're starting out in real estate investing, you bought a property and then you decide to buy another one, you rent out the first property, but you're not necessarily educated in real estate investing, knowing that you're supposed to get a corporation to put all these properties in. right? So because of that, what happens is that their credit is being damaged. It's affecting everything. What we would do if we came in and we saw this scenario, we would sit down and we would look at the actual credit portfolio, see where, for example, the second mortgage on the second property is gone, 2 or 3 months behind. We'll strategize to get that back up in good standing,
Right.
right? Even though it might be in a second or third mortgage status, which is a higher interest rate. We'll put everything together so that by the time it's time to renew the first mortgage, everything gets put back into the first mortgage.
Right.
And the interest rate drops. Yeah. So we're protecting your credit portfolio.
So I want to put a bit of twist in the wheel now. What if the debt is so high? The debt is extremely high. How did you guys handle that? Like, I can understand if you're dealing with $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 where you can just negotiate to $1,500 and pay it out and it's done.
Right.
What if we're talking the hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt now?
Right.
How do you guys handle a situation like that?
Again, somebody who has hundreds and thousands of dollars in debt will be in a different situation than somebody who has 5 or 10. Right. So somebody who has hundreds of thousands usually will have equity in their house.
Gotcha.
You understand? So that you can settle with a one-time payment.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
See that? That's what I ask you that.
Yeah.
So if you go up in $100,000 debt, that's because you have asset that can potentially get you to that level, and then you can just refinance the house, pay out the one-time debt just as like everything else, and then you.
But understanding when you're paying that debt, you're not paying the full amount. That's what people are doing. They're paying the full amount when really and truly, depending on how old the debt is, you have negotiating room. If it's over 2 years, you don't have to pay the full amount.
So you negotiate the debt.
It down.
And that's what Forvan Financial does.
Yes,
there you go, folks.
Yeah.
She negotiate the debt. So if you hold, let's say, $100,000, she bring it down to whatever, I guess, between or organization and the creditor owed, whatever you guys come to a common term, and that's we negotiate.
Right.
Okay, excellent, folks. So Forvan Financial is not a credit counseling organization; it's a credit management organization. Help you manage your debt.
That's right.
So that is the bad side of it. Let's go on the good side now. I have no credit. I have no credit problem.
Right.
But I don't know anything about credit. How do you help me
establish credit?
There you go. Establish credit and get into the system. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, there's the Forvan Financial Show, which is for young people, but there's a lot of older people who watch it as well, and they can get the tips that they need.
And one second, what platform that show is on?
It's Forvan Financial Show is on Instagram as well as YouTube.
And what is the Instagram link or YouTube link for them to get it?
Both of them is Forvan Financial Show.
And that's FORVAN Financial Show.
Right.
YouTube and Instagram. Young people or older people who new immigrants as well. Who
new immigrants as well.
Yes,
very much so. New immigrants have an advantage because as soon as you come to Canada, you will be given credit cards. Right, as a new immigrant, but it's important to know how to manage the credit when you get it. So we want people to know, we want people to have this foundational knowledge because it really is foundation. It shouldn't be something hidden. It makes a huge impact on your life, your children, your family, the community, really, if you can manage credit effectively. Yeah.
So there you go, folks. So if you're new, you have no credit, you want to learn how to establish credit. Do you have them get line of credits and credit cards as well?
I sure do. Sure do. We do. We encourage newcomers or anybody who's looking to establish credit to go to the 5 major banks in Canada, open up bank accounts with all 5 of them, and get credit cards with all 5 of them.
So right off the bat, you're starting them right.
Yeah.
Start right with Forvan Financials. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So there you go. So here's a credit program that I think has been missing from the community for a very long time. And it's probably always here. It's just that they just need to know how to access it more and more. If a person owes a lot of money in debt and they don't want to go to bankruptcy, let's assume they don't have that equity house to pay out the debt and they don't have cash to pay out to sell the debt.
Right.
Is there any alternative to bankruptcy?
Yes, there's Forvan Financial Firm. So, so here's the thing. What we do is we communicate with the creditors on your behalf, right? Number one, we've had situations where somebody has fallen behind on a payment and the creditor has sent them, has sued them essentially, right? So they were in the courts and we went in and we responded to the courts. A lot of times when you are in debt and you're drowning, you just lock yourself off. You don't do anything. You don't say anything. You don't
Right.
answer the calls. You don't do anything. When you give that responsibility over to us, we are going to be answering the call. We're going to be sending registered letters to the creditors. And if it's in the courts, we're actually going to be responding to the courts. So we've been able to reverse judgments because of that, because certain situations, somebody's in a situation, you just need to explain what's going on. You'll be surprised what will happen when you do that.
Right.
Yeah.
I know you repair a lot of people credit and manage the credit for them and get them in good standing. What people want to hear, the juicy stuff. What is the most amount of money you help someone got from the bank? They like to hear, they like to get money. What's the most amount of money you have got someone got from the bank based on you establishing the credit profile for them
Right.
and get them money, whether it's line of credit or credit card?
Line of credit or credit card?
Yeah, either one, or even loans.
Well, I mean, it goes. It can go anywhere to 400 to 500,000.
What's the most amount you've ever to help someone get? Your success story with working with clients?
Honestly, I would say probably about 400,000.
$400,000 in credit.
Yeah.
Excellent. There you go, folks.
Yeah, and I mean, and this is just personal credit. I mean,
This is just personal, not business
credit
credit.
is a totally other.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's corporate credit as well, or business credit. Okay.
Right.
All right. So there you go. She can help you get personal credit, establish, or even get your credit repair or credit managed very well. And so tell us a little bit about corporate credit.
Okay, so corporate credit is for anybody who has a corporation. Majority of business owners currently right now who do have their business registered as corporation, especially in the Black community, are trying to get access to the Black business loan. What we're seeing is that because their personal credit is not in good standing, they cannot access the Black business loan. You would think that the Black business loan is based on your business, but it's not. In order to access corporate credit, your personal credit has to be in order for you to begin to establish corporate credit with your corporation.
Yeah, hold on a second. So I have a business.
Yes.
My business is doing well.
Yes.
I have good income.
Yes.
I manage my expense, my business. Now the Black business loan becomes available.
Right.
I apply. I'm keep getting declined.
That's right.
I come to you and ask you to decline. You say, okay, well, what is my personal credit has to do with my business? I'm making money. What's the problem?
The problem is that you cannot access corporate credit without your personal credit being in order. That's what the problem is. Why is that? You'd have to ask the banks. But the reality is that they're looking to see that how you manage money. And the only way that they know how you manage money is by looking at your credit report. So if your personal credit is not in order, they're not going to feel confident in giving you access to corporate credit, even though your business is doing well.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
So that's the big thing. And we want our business owners to be able to access the corporate credit because it's way more money than personal credit. Right? And if you want to expand your business, you need to be able to access corporate credit.
So there you go, folks. You need personal credit to be established. You need Forvan Financial to get you establish your personal credit. Once you get your personal credit established, you can get able to help you build credit in your personal name. Then that's going to be a flow over into the corporation name as well, right, to even assist in applying for business loans for your business. Now, do you assist in the application for the Black business loan?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Yeah. And is there a cost for that?
The cost is pretty much through a third party.
Right.
But for me, when you say if I assist on the side of corporate, the credit side. Right. That's where my assistance comes in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't do the application for actually the loan itself?
No, I have an affiliate
that does that.
Yes.
Okay. So now we discuss building personal credit.
Right.
So a person have 300 and whatever this credit score. What is the cost to help them build or reestablish positive credit?
So the cost for personal credit is $5,100.
Ouch.
Yes.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
How does a person who's not paying their bills or who have a challenge making monthly payments afford that service?
That's a good question. That's one of the things that we discussed initially when we started the company. And we realized we want to help people and we don't want people to think that they can't afford us. So we give you the option to finance over a 5-year period, which is the longest period you can finance over. So
finance over a 5-year period, what's my monthly payment?
$85.
That's about 2 bottles of wine.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
So there you go, folks. There's no excuse. And the reason why I ask her, because a lot of people come on the platform they want to discuss the cost for this service because they want you to contact them, and then you already contact them. They can charge you high or charge you low.
Right.
Nalish says she's comfortable discussing the cost for her service, and because she has a solution, if it's too high for you, she's gonna break it down over a 5-year period, only $85 a month
Right.
to help you establish positive credit. Now, does that matter if I have a 300 credit score? If I have a 600 credit score, doesn't matter. Does the price change?
The price does not change. Does not change. No.
This price doesn't change.
No.
So, and one of the good thing in working with her organization, as she explained to us before, you can help you establish personal credit,
Right.
and if you have a business, she can help you flow over establish business credit as well.
Right.
So the relationship continues and probably go beyond 5 years. I would assume, right?
For sure. For sure. Yep.
There you go. So, very, very good, very good. So, is there any tips you like to share with them about either personal or business credit that people should be paying close attention to?
The last date of activity is very important. We teach you how to read your credit report as well. That's one of the services that we do offer, because most people don't know how to read your credit. You can go to Equifax and TransUnion, pull your credit and look at it and don't know what you're looking at. What you need to look at is the last date of activity, which means the last date you made a payment to that particular debt, whether it be Rogers, whether it be your mortgage or a line of credit.
Mm-hmm.
If it's in a derogatory state, you need to look and see what's the last date of activity. If the last date of activity is less than 2 years, you need to pay attention to that debt. You need to speak to the creditor, make arrangements to get it back up to good standing, because you actually do want to have these trade lines running in good standing, because that's what establishes your credit score. But if it's more than 2 years old, then that's where you're now looking to negotiate to settle with one payment.
Excellent. Yeah. Excellent. And folks, if you have credit issues or credit situation that you don't understand, do not contact the creditor until you talk to Forvan Financials.
Yes, for sure.
You just might be confirming to something you shouldn't be confirming to.
Right.
Or doing something you're not supposed to be doing at this particular time.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
How do they get access to you, Nalish?
Forvan Financial Firm. We are www.forvanfinancial.com online, as well as 1-800-774-3408 is our direct line contact. And we are on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, Forvan Financial Firm.
Yeah, and what I really like is that she has a continuous educational program, which I think is so important, because you can get a tip here and there, because everyone can, a tip is for today. But the ongoing education program, I think, is what's important if you keep learning how to establish proper credit. Right. And also because there's the education program, because that's why I'm excited. Anything change in the credit system or in the banking system, in the application system, the educator would always be exposing that information to the consumer.
Right. And it's a good thing that you said that, because one of the things that has happened in the past decade is these new companies that have come up, like Borrowwell and all these other companies that they say, credit monitoring companies, you can pull your credit through this particular company. When I was in school, I used to be a mortgage professional. Mm-hmm. And when I was in school, we were taught back then that you're not allowed to discuss a client's credit report at all. Right? Now it's totally different, where you can get access to it, but you do not want to be looking at your credit report through any other means other than your Equifax and your TransUnion, because those two companies are the ones that are going to show you exactly what is being reported on your credit report. And you need to know that it's reporting accurate and true information.
So what you're saying, that the other ones that's not Equifax and not TransUnion, the information could not be as accurate?
It's not. They're not going to be showing you the full detail of your credit report.
Right.
So they'll show you your credit score, some information, but the full detail, which you need to be able to see, to be able to identify if there is errors on your credit report, which is costing you a lot of money, you cannot see it through those means. So Equifax and TransUnion, that's it.
So are you advising the consumer, if they have credit situation or credit concerns, should they sign up for the Equifax or TransUnion monthly monitoring program?
No. Exact opposite.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
Do not do that. Because
go ahead, what's the solution?
The reality is that the credit monitoring services do not identify errors on your credit report. They will identify something unusual is taking place, which that should be your job. For you, I literally tell people to pull their credit at least every 2 months. Right? It's free. You can pull it once a month free from them. and be able to see if there's something wrong with yourself, right? You should.
So
It is
every month.
that important for you to keep track of what's going on in your credit report.
So every month you get access credit report absolutely free
Free every month.
from Equifax and TransUnion.
So Equifax, it's your credit report. TransUnion, it's called your consumer
Consumers report.
No, there's a special name they call it for TransUnion, but it's not called a credit report with consumer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. So there you go, folks. Once a month, get access to your credit report through Equifax or TransUnion.
Right.
And you can monitor your credit yourself. You don't have to pay that monthly fee as Nalish described.
Right.
And if you're working with Forvan Financial, I think that's something you have to do mandatory.
Right.
You got to get a report every month and get to Nalish. And then you always, especially going through the credit management program, you always want to see what changed and the results of whatever you guys doing on the other side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You want to monitor that. Very good.
And it's funny. What most people don't realize is that for you to go to Equifax in Toronto, if you live in Toronto, the Greater Toronto area, for you to go to Equifax, it's at Yonge Street.
Okay.
Okay. Yonge and Finch.
Yeah.
Right?
The north side. Yep.
But for TransUnion, you're going out to
I think it's Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay. Think about it. You want to go to a bank. Doesn't matter if it's TD, RBC, CIBC. There's banks everywhere. You have access to banks everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Your credit report is the most important report card you will ever see. But yet, for some reason, there's only 2 places that you can go if you have to deal with them directly.
Right.
You want to go down there because you've been trying over the phone, nothing's working. You have to literally go to only 2 places.
Right.
Right.
That's crazy.
You really need to think, why is that?
Why is that, Nalish?
Why is that? For me, it's like, that's been the question. Why is it that they're Equifax and TransUnion all over? The reality is that there is so much errors on your credit report because the people who are in the background doing, updating your information are making errors. There's lots of errors
On the credit report.
on your credit report. So you have to take the responsibility to say, let me make sure everything's right. You understand? Yeah.
So, okay, it's another twist of the program. So some banks give you monthly updates of your credit report in your bank account.
Right.
How accurate is that? And now we come from Equifax or TransUnion. Go ahead.
Right. So the banks are using TransUnion.
Okay.
Right. But when you go into your TransUnion, it's great for you to see your score. That's fine. That's great. But because of the way it prints out in a way that is so complicated that you can't see what you need to see if you don't have a trained eye.
Right.
Right. If you go directly to TransUnion and print it, then it's a lot easier for you to read.
Excellent. Yeah. So the report that comes directly from the credit reporting company, Equifax or TransUnion, give you more details of what you need to see there. And again, contact Forvan Financial. Give them your contact information again, Nalish.
Yes, Forvan Financial Firm, www.forvanfinancial.com. Our website and our phone number is 1-800-774-3408.
Any last words before we wrap this up?
Just that your credit is important. Your credit is important. That's what I've been trying to get everybody to know in the last 12 years. I'm just on this crusade. Your credit is important.
Excellent. Yeah. Here's success, folks. Credit management program. Brand new, been around for a while. Nalish Francis from Forvan Financials. If you're having credit issues, or if you don't have credit issues, they can help you. More important, folks, get the young ones. Yeah. 16, 17, 18 years of age, start learning. And from age 18 plus, Nalish, you can start working with the young kids.
Yep, for sure.
And get them. I start my kids from 16, 17 years old, understanding the credit system. And as soon as we reach 18, we get them the first credit card, line of credits.
Yep. And
we start build credit, especially if you want them to buy real estate. You want to build generational wealth. Even if they're not ready, some kids are just more financially curious than others.
That's true.
Tune them in to the Forvan
Financial Show.
Forvan Financial Show on Instagram, on YouTube. Yep. Let them start learning this stuff. Let them start get it into their brain to understand that credit, I call it, is second to oxygen in this country.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep. 100%.
My name is Frank Corbin from the Young and Rich University. And it's a platform anyone can come and talk, discuss your business, discuss anything you have offering to the community to help them change their financial situation. To your success, see you then.